Ladies and gentlemen, so we've got the Spider-Gwen and She-Hulk beta this week, but one of the very interesting things is in the beta, there are Science Rank-Up gems to rank 5, and also Science Awakening gems, and Signature Stones to take Science characters as a 5-star, all the way up to the dupe level 200. So I thought we'd have a little bit of fun today and fully max out Ant-Man, because not enough people are showing Ant-Man the moderate level of appreciation that this lad deserves with a full Quantum Trinity. When he has the full Quantum Trinity, he goes from a really, really bad character to a not so bad character. And you know, that's an alright place for Ant-Man to be in, considering the champion literally has 2 abilities. There's only 2 things that Ant-Man does unawakened, but if you awaken him, he does a 3rd thing as well. So basically, the 2 abilities of Ant-Man, if you're not aware, his light attacks apply fatigue, and if you're paying close attention, you'll notice we're doing a medium and then quadruple light combo in order to maximize that fatigue, which we'll talk about the reasons why in a moment. And also Special 2 converts the fatigue into a poison. Now, his awakened ability as well has a 65% chance of fully maxed out Ant-Man to glance and attack, and this kind of synergizes with the Quantum Trinity, which does 3 different things. So the first thing the Quantum Trinity does is on glancing attack, you're going to generate a fury on Ant-Man. So if you're blocking attacks, if you do a parry and it glances, you get an additional fury buff there. The second thing is for every single debuff on the opponent, you're dealing more and more damage, so your damage goes up quite nicely as you get more debuffs on the opponent, and also there's a nice increase to Ant-Man's base attack as well. So you can see once you've got those debuffs up, man, you are hitting, you know, pretty damn hard. The damage is alright, it's fairly decent. While this damage might not be like game-breakingly OP, it still makes what is a very, very rubbish character significantly more viable. So today, I wanted to put Ant-Man to kind of, you know, maybe one of the ultimate tests and see if with the 565 one, we can actually down Realm of Legends Wolverine. Because also an interesting part of the poison debuffs, if you're not already aware of this, as well as counting it as a debuff for the Despair Mastery to reduce healing by 15%, poisons also have a passive effect that reduce healing by about, it's approximately, I believe, about 30% to the best of my knowledge. So yeah, it's really, really good against Realm of Legends Wolverine, providing you've got like 2 stacks of poison up. It pretty much heal blocks him, not entirely here as you're going to see, but you know, it heavily reduces the regeneration. So if you can play fairly aggressively and get those stacks of poison up and keep them up, you can actually make enough headway to smack Wolverine up proper good, lads. So it's a really, really great time, but you do need to play very, very aggressively for this tactic to work. But you can see currently we have 6 stacks of poison, and the regeneration is only healing him for 38. So that is almost a full heal block, but unfortunately, because Ant-Man doesn't have any way to actually inflict a despair to reduce healing, then it doesn't like invert and do what like Captain America Infinity War or She-Hulk or Void would do. So yeah, unfortunately, he doesn't have that super dank mechanic. But if poison did work as a heal inversion, man, that would be one thing that would make Ant-Man, you know, a very, very strong consideration for big regeneration fights. So I'd love to see a really, really big Ant-Man revamp. You know, he only has 2 abilities on his base set. His special 1 does absolutely nothing. His special 3 does absolutely nothing. His heavy attack does absolutely nothing. There is so much room to add like a few little bits and bobs, because Ant-Man, he's not kind of like very far off being a fairly decent character with the full quantum synergy. He just needs like a few little bits and pieces to make him a viable and interesting champion. So we did mess up and, you know, take a hit, ruin our combo there, but we're really getting into the rhythm of the Realm of Legends Wolverine fight. So we got 4 stacks of poison on there. You can see the regeneration is barely going above 300. 2 stacks are healing him for about 400 at the moment, but you just need to play very, very aggressively and keep those debuffs up. This might work for kind of a maxed out 4-star version of Ant-Man. Maybe you might have to use a boost to kind of offset the regeneration a little bit, but providing you're playing very aggressively, even a maxed out 4-star should be able to do this. But in all honesty, if you're doing like Realm of Legends for the first time, just bring in like a 3-star version of Void or like Guillotine, and they are much easier options. You know, we have so many incredibly powerful heal block characters that you probably don't need to max out your 4-star Ant-Man to get through this dude, because a 3-star Void is just, you know, going to take care of this fight. An absolute piece of cake there. But as you can see, we are now on 12% in that glorious, glorious Assassin's range, a nuking this lad down, and I should have gone for a special one, to be honest, to finish it there, but I just wanted to make sure we were a little bit safe, just in case he got some insane regeneration at the very, very last minute that we can counter. So there we go, Ant-Man gets Realm of Legends Wolverine down as a maxed out 5-star in 157 hits. So, you know, interesting little bit of utility there. A couple of other fights to show off some of the potential of Ant-Man. So this is the Scarlet Witch one, and we didn't, you know, have the absolute best start there, but you can see his awakened ability, the glancing. It does come in handy in case you mess up to really soak up a lot of that damage. I'm sure the majority of you watching this video will have had an experience where you fought Ant-Man, and the glancing it's such an annoying mechanic to deal with. So yeah, having that additional bit of survivability, if you're a little bit of a scrub like me, can be useful, but he does need a little bit more, especially to contend with how strong some of the top options in the science class are now. In terms of tier list ranking, Ant-Man is currently on my tier list, situated in the low demigod tier on the provision that he's both awakened and also has the full Quantum Trinity active. If he's not awakened, he's probably around the amazing tier because, you know, he does miss out on a fair bit of damage from all those, you know, glancing furies. And if he doesn't have the Quantum Trinity, Ant-Man is just straight up a mean tier champion because he gains so much benefit from the full Quantum Trinity. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, if you really do want to make the most of Ant-Man, if you get like a 5 or 6 star version, and I must admit, like, getting Ant-Man as a 6-star character, while it may seem a little bit gutting at the time, I think there are like much worse 6-star champions to pull, because I believe as of, I don't know if it's currently or as of like next week when the current featured champions come into the basic, Ant-Man is going to be available as a 6-star champion, and I'd much rather pull like a 6-star Ant-Man than like a Hulkbuster or a Deadpool X-Force or a Thor Jane Foster or a Gamora. You know, there's like a fair list of champions that I would say are lower in terms of desirability than Ant-Man. So, you know, not the absolute worst character in the world. I know some people do like to still trash on Ant-Man, and he's not the best science champion. He's nowhere near some of the potential of what I deem high demigod tier or god tier or beyond god tier science champions, especially when you've got such high competition in that class from champions like Void, Captain America Infinity War, Gladiator Hulk, Quake, Luke Cage, Red Hulk, you know, the newly buffed She-Hulk and Spider-Gwen. There is so much to contend with in terms of those science resources. So yeah, it's a very, very slim chance in a lot of people's rosters that Ant-Man is actually getting ranked up. But there we go. It's Scarlet Witch down in 136 hits there. And again, these are Realm of Legends bosses. They have just over 500,000 health. So it's not bad at all. But the Winter Soldier matchup is one of my favorites to do with Ant-Man, because his special 2, when you're blocking that, the Furies just go vroomp. You get so many of them stacked up because every single block tier also has a 65% chance to glance as well, and whenever you glance you're going to generate one of the passive Furies, and also the fact that these Furies are passive and not actual buffs is a good time when fighting champions of the Mystic class that might be, you know, running 5 out of 5 Mystic Dispersion in PvP scenarios. But here you can see what 9 Furies, man. That damage is pretty good there. I really wish in this fight we didn't have the class disadvantage. So yeah, that's a little bit annoying, but these are some very like rare and quirky scenarios that allow you to kind of boost up Ant-Man's damage even more. So, you know, if you're playing Ghost, and Ghost is, you know, just such an incredibly powerful, like, meta-breaking champion at the moment, like lugging around like a rank 4 or a 6-star or, you know, a rank 3 Ant-Man awakened even at least, you can see with the full Quantum Trinity, he's not deadweight anymore. He's not the absolute useless meme tier champion that he used to be, but instead he's alright, man. He's not the best, not the worst, so just knocking about, you know, fairly in the middle of the game, but I'd say he's slightly above the middle of the game. There are 140 champions in the game currently at the moment, and a good, like, I would say like 60 or 70 of those characters do just need a full revamp because they are so far behind some of the top options. But I think, you know, much to their credit, Kabam is getting round to buffing champions either directly or via unique synergies at a rate that we have never experienced in the history of Marvel Contest of Champions. In the last, like, you know, year alone, there have been more buffs to characters than than like the 3 years before that. So it's moving at an alright rate there. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of Ant-Man in the comments section below. Smash that like button if you are, you know, part of the Ant-Man club. If you want to join the Ant Army, smash that like button right now. Aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, let's see this absolutely juicy special to butcher this lad. Look at that, 26k. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.